Attention, attention, cules of the world. Hold on tight, because what I'm about to tell you, you won't hear it at La Cope, nor at El Chiringuito, nor in the telediarios of Florentino TV, disguised as sports news. Spotify has inserted a secret clause in its contract with Barça, amounting to the tidy sum of 65 million euros per season. Yes, you heard right, 65 million per year. And this isn't hot air, it's not cheap gossip, it's not some Madridista barroom chat. It's real, it's official, and it's further proof that Barça, even in the toughest times, remains the most media-savvy, the most attractive, and the most global club on planet Earth. And pay attention, here's our first call to action for the coolers. If you bleed Blaugrana, if you hate seeing Madrid win leagues thanks to penalties and custom Marca headlines for Florentino, subscribe to the channel immediately. This space is for the cule people, not for white propaganda. Of course, right now, Tomas Roncero must be at home, crying inconsolably, his Madrid scarf glued to his eyes, wondering, but how is this possible? How can Barça, despite all the press against it, with an Aguera case invented to nausea, with suspicious refereeing every week, continue to sign contracts that Madrid wouldn't even dare dream of? Well, it's because Barça is culture, it's resistance, it's pure spectacle, and Spotify knows it. This isn't just a partnership. It's not just slapping a logo on a training jersey, like Madrid does with 1,000 minor brands that last only as long as it takes Florentino to invent another smokescreen. Here, we're talking about 65 million euros annually. We're talking globalization, music, football, lifestyle. Spotify doesn't ally with just anyone. Spotify unites with Barça because it understands that our jersey isn't just fabric, it's an ideology. It's loving the game, it's epic. And what does this secret clause say? Well, here's the most interesting part. Barça must maintain colossal international presence figures, digital activations, social media engagement, a global visibility ecosystem. And of course, who could do it better than Barça? We have the most promising young players in world football. LAMINE YAMAL, that kid who seems to have come straight out of the Blaugrana magic lab. PEDRI, touched by the magic wand of Xavi and Iniesta. GAVI, pure grit. And behind them, an army of youth academy players who guarantee the future and the DNA of Barça, even in training. Meanwhile, Real Madrid clings like a shipwrecked man to the bodies of Modric and Kroos, who should already be playing in the Veterans Indoor League. But when there's no real youth academy and everything depends on the checkbook and the bar, the only thing left is to cry on television. Edu Aguirre, every night, looks more and more like a wounded mariachi singing for Florentino rather than a journalist. And Roncero, what can I say? This man has become a universal meme icon. You put him in tears, and he's understood in Russian, English, and even Swahili. Barça globalizes memes, even at the expense of Madridismo. Now, the media centralism will try to turn this clause against us. Spotify is tightening the screws. These are impossible conditions. Watch out for Barça if it drops in level. Yeah, we'll see about that. Hack journalists with white scarves. Who sets global trends? Barça. Who pulls entire generations on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram? Barça. Who makes kids from Japan, the United States, and Africa dream of wearing the jersey? Barça. Madrid, on the other hand, has Florentino closing the taps, Vinicius dancing ridiculously, offbeat, and a stadium still under construction that they claim is the most modern in the world, even though it took them 20 years to finish it. We play in the cathedral of football, and we always fill the stands. The Spotify Barça deal is confirmation that when the world looks to what is modern, young, global, and passionate, it looks to Barça. Florentino can only fool Migatovic and 4 roadside bar columnists, but he can't fool the brands that run the planet, and certainly not Spotify. I even laugh imagining the scene. Spotify Madrid meeting. Florentino tries to convince them with outdated PowerPoints, talking about their 14 Champions Leagues, and the Spotify people reply, "Yes, but on social media, you're not even half as big. No one celebrates your goals like Barça's. No one makes a player go viral like Barça. No one connects with the new generations like Barça." And Florentino must have left there like when they don't approve his Super League, head down, whiny, and making excuses. I want to emphasize this point. This clause is demanding, but it's the best proof that Barça remains the greatest. What brand would be stupid enough to demand this level of visibility from Getafe, Sevilla, or even Madrid? None, because they know that these clubs, including the one from Chamartin, don't even reach Barca's bootlace in terms of globalization. And you know it, Kules, because you see that even in the tough years, we continue to fill stadiums in the United States, Asia, everywhere. Entire pre-seasons that become global cinema. Barca is Hollywood, and Madrid is neighborhood cinema with a smell of stale popcorn. They want to bury us by creating media storms, but every step shows that Barca survives, resists, and leads. And that's the real victory. While they think they're untouchable with friendly referees, we sign contracts, win women's titles, dominate global youth, and have supporters who don't need the bar to dream. And the best part is that it keeps going, because we have LAMINE and YAMAL as the product of the immediate future, and this isn't cool smoke, nor desperate marketing like Vinicius's, who sells himself as a Ballon d'Or on the front pages of Marca while he misses more dribbles than a regional league player on the field. No, LAMINE is pure, precocious, electric, viral talent. Every action from it becomes an instant clip on social media. Every decisive pass from PEDRI is shared on thousands of football accounts around the world. And every Barca women's match is a masterclass in modernity. That's engagement. That's what the famous clause demanded. That's what Spotify is buying, and what Madrid will never have, even if they sell Di Stefano's soul. Madrid may win another rigged Champions League, may get another little refereeing help in the league, but they will never manage to have their goals sung with the same passion around the world. That's Barca. That's what makes us unique. Imagine for a second what would happen if the situation were reversed. If Spotify had signed this deal with Real Madrid instead of Barca, Mother of God, Kules, it would be unbearable. Marca would have daily front pages with Florentino posing as a Roman emperor dressed in laurel, saying, "Madrid conquers globalization." Edu Aguirre would do 3-hour special broadcasts licking the ground Florentino walks on, and Roncero would organize a caravan from Chamartin to Cibeles to celebrate a partnership. Yes, yes. Not a title, not a goal, not a victory, a partnership contract. And they would tell the whole world, "We have the perfect partner, we are invincible, blah blah blah." But since it's Barca, what do? Silence, manipulation, and venom. Ah, this contract has some fine print. These are misleading numbers. Barca won't make it. Ha ha ha. Do you realize, Kules? This is definitive proof that it stings them. And it stings a lot, because they can't stand that after inventing the tale of the club in ruins, after telling us for 2 years that we were a finished club, Spotify comes along and says, "Here's 65 million per season. We trust you because you are the global benchmark." That hurts them more than any defeat. And I assure you of one thing, a Madridista can handle losing a Clásico, but they can't handle losing a battle of global prestige. What burns the most in Chamartin is that their narrative of perfect club, model club, collapses with things like this. When Florentino goes abroad begging for sponsors, people open the door for him out of politeness, but when the Barca door opens to meet tech giants, they welcome us like rock stars, because Barca isn't a company, it's an idea. And cool ideas are worth 65 million more per year than what they will never achieve. And do you know what's worse for them? That this contract has continuity, that every season will be a new slap on the white cheek. Imagine Roncero opening a Marca years later with the headline, "Spotify renews with Barca." That man would go straight to the emergency room, and Aguirre would cry live on air as if he'd been told Florentino doesn't want to be his wedding godfather. That's the real drama. And now, Kules, let's take this story to its most epic level, because what this contract with Spotify represents isn't just money, it isn't just numbers. It's our essence, resisting against all and everyone. They've tried to bury Barca 1,000 times with sanctions, media campaigns, scandalous refereeing, toxic narratives about debt and corruption, but every time they try to sink us, we come back stronger. And this clause is the best proof. When it seemed Barca was at its worst, a global giant appears and says, "We trust you more than anyone else." That, Kules, is the spirit of Blaugrana resistance. This contract is like a vote of confidence from millions of supporters in every corner of the planet. It's like a direct message, Barca, never die. And what's most painful for Madridismo is that deep down, they know they can't compete on this field. They can steal leagues with penalties, boast about rigged Champions Leagues, remodel their stadium like it's the White Tower of Babel, but they will never generate that magnetism. They will never make a 10-year-old kid in the Philippines dream of wearing their nuclear white jersey. That kid dreams of Blaugrana, and that kid listens to music on Spotify at the same time. You see the move, Kules? Modern life, entertainment, and illusion follow the same path. Barça on Spotify. What's happening now is historic, because we're not talking about a temporary deal, but a perfect marriage that can last decades. And meanwhile, what does Madrid do? Distract its supporters with star signings and photos of the new stadium. No, there's no narrative, no magic, no DNA. And when you don't have DNA, the only thing left is to cry and depend on the referee. So, Kules, let's be clear. The secret 65 million clause is actually a mirror. A mirror where we see ourselves big, global, resistant, and unique. And a mirror where Madrid appears small, whiny, provincial, and increasingly out of the international conversation. This contract might seem like a burden, but in reality, it's a medal, further proof that we are the greatest club in the world, the one that survives everything and everyone. They can invent scandals, manipulate referees, mock our occasional defeats, but they will never buy what we have. A DNA, a passion, a magic that attracts the biggest brands on the planet. And here's the last and most moving call to action. If you love Barça, if you feel it like I do, subscribe, share, and shout with pride, because Barça isn't just a club, it's a feeling that beats in every heart defending these colors. And I'll leave you with some open questions. Kules, do you think Barça will turn this clause into a new opportunity to humiliate Madridismo with global success? Do you think LAMINE, PEDRI, and GAVI will propel the club to numbers even Spotify didn't imagine? Will Florentino cry again when he sees Barça remains a benchmark while they try to bury us? I await your comments, because that's where the next big Kules scandal will come from.